Okay, let me kick off this review by saying that I am a big fan of the Addams Family license. I watched reruns of the TV show, loved the two major feature films, owned the Bally Williams pinball machine, and even got tickets to the Addams Family musical on Broadway. So, yeah, to say that I am a tad biased toward the theme would not be an over-exaggeration. In a special issue of Turbo Play, there was a pre-release story on the making of the game that I read a dozen times. Long story short, the game was released and I was one of the first in line to buy. Da-da-da-da. When the disc begins to spin, the first thing you'll hear is the original Addams Family TV theme in its entirety over a, well, plain opening graphic. The story revolves loosely around the original film. You play as Tully Alford, the Addams' lawyer, who has been chosen as a participant in a little game by Gomez Addams. If Tully can find the secret family vault, he can keep as much money as he wishes. But the Addams clan will not make winning that game easy. Tully has to traverse through the graveyard, into the 22 different rooms of the mansion, and finally through various dungeons to reach his prize. At the beginning, defeating Fester will award you the Red Key and access to the mansion, which is really the main part of the game. This is the first of numerous keys you will have to collect because each room in the mansion is locked with a specific color. Inside these rooms are, well, the subsequent keys, jewels and points, a train leading to treasures, nothing at all sometimes, which is just a damn tease, and a nice warp back outside to the beginning. Now that one, I don't like. Obviously, Tully doesn't just walk around and take what he wants easily. There are weird enemies blocking his path, like evil chemistry sets, mutant pigs, even possessed Nintendo Entertainment Systems. I don't care who you are, that's funny right there. Each of the family members pop up in the game in order to thwart Tully's plans. Thing is also creeping about, and collecting him awards a ton of extra points. Now to combat these obstacles, Tully has an umbrella with special powers, which can be slightly upgraded. And when I say slightly, I mean slightly. When fighting Gomez, he switches to some good old-fashioned swordplay. And there is also a hurricane book that, when used, according to the manual, blows everything off the screen. Huh. Yeah, that worked well. After defeating Pugsley, Tully also can turn into a man-beast that, in a sense, gives him an extra life. And that is pretty much the Addams Family. Shooting with the umbrella, finding keys, entering rooms, killing enemies, beating Gomez, then sneaking into the vault for the win. Sounds kind of fun, right? Well, damn it, it should have been. Now let's start with how the graphics look. As always, the colors are great, but the backgrounds could have used a little work. There are some nice touches from the film. The characters all look pretty faithful, and I do like the audience below watching as events unfold. Morticia has some good animation here, see? So this is my question: why isn't this the case with the rest of the game? The enemies are often poorly animated, and things tend to look very 8-bit-ish, something systems at the time were trying to avoid. As for the sound, the game doesn't have much music to it at all. Instead, it has mostly eerie and strange sounds that remind me of one of those looping Halloween sound effects CDs. Yeah, I kind of like it, because it's different. But there are times I do miss some of that awesome Turbo CD music. One thing is, I will give credit to the voice acting. It's not bad.
Tully, my good man, how about playing a round of golf?
Once in a while, a cutscene will appear to break up the action, and while the character impressions aren't always spot on, the speech is generally rather entertaining.
But the room you're looking for is the study. And it's on the first floor, you goof, not up here. done with you.
It's a shame that they're only supported with boring and grainy still photos from the film. And finally, the controls. Tully walks around at an awkward pace, and his jumping is very delayed. Plus, he floats instead of having a nice sharp jump, and you'll awkwardly jump to your death many, many times. His weapon shoots out okay, but the enemy patterns are strange, and there isn't much satisfaction after defeating them. The hit detection during the crucial Gomez battle is very tricky to judge. Even though Tully has a huge life meter, the controls make the game rather difficult. But if you can master these quirks, the game then becomes rather easy. That is, if you really want to play that long. To top it off, the CD loading times are, well, early CD loading times. They severely slow the game down. So, as you can tell, I went from being extremely excited to somewhat disappointed in the Addams Family. I mean, searching the mansion is kind of fun and pretty solid, and a lot of the game is actually good, but there was just not enough attention to detail. Oh well, in the end, no matter what, you'll only wind up with a gravestone with your name written all over it. Da-da-da-da. Da-da. Now, I don't hate the Addams Family as much as most of the critics out there who would probably give it a rating of 1 or less. But it's very difficult to recommend because there are numerous problems. I think if you're a fan of the license, you'll find some redeeming things about this side-scrolling action game, and I'm going to give it a slightly below average 2.5 CDs out of 5. But for the rest of you, I'd probably rate it lower, so stay clear because something is lacking, and the game overall is just